Good afternoon, YouTube. Today's video is going to be all about propane. These little 1 pound green propane canisters that we use for heating or cooking or lanterns. We go through quite a few of these in my home, and just want to share a little video to kind of document how I have shaved the cost on these down by about 80%. If we haven't met yet though, my name's David. My videos document my experiences in trying to save a few bucks on household expenses, household repairs, household maintenance. I'm very excited to say that we just reached the 20 subscriber mark. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, Cece. I really appreciate the support. If you want to make sure that you get notified whenever we put new content up, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and hit that bell. And you will also, you'll get a notification anytime we upload new content. So with that, let's get started with the video. Okay, so I did some price shopping. Went to my two favorite places to purchase propane generally for these, and which is Walmart and Academy. Walmart actually had the better deal. So Academy had these, you could get a 3-pack of these for $11.99. Which turns out to be, since they're a pound each, you divide by 3, and that's you get $3.99 a pound. Walmart, that was Academy. So Walmart had these for, you could get a 2-pack of them for $6.44, which turns out to be $3.22 a pound. So while that's pretty good, we can get it a lot lower than that. So the best deals to be had, however, you start experiencing those once you can start purchasing in 20-pound or 15-pound increments. So this is a 20-pound propane container. You can trade these out at any gas station or grocery store. You take them, your old cylinder, and you exchange it for one that they already have. One of the things that many people don't know about this is the quantity of propane that you get in the exchange is not the full tank. These tanks are, the capacity is 20 pounds, but when you do this process and you exchange, you're only getting 15 pounds. So only 3/4 of the capacity of the tank, which is not a great deal if you're expecting to be getting a full tank. So, with that, you can still save some money on this. I went to this price here is at my local Kroger store. You can exchange a 20-pound container. I mean, you're getting 15 pounds for $15.99, which is $1.07 a pound, which is a pretty good deal. It's getting lower, but we can still do better if we actually just go get our cylinder refilled. So locally, the only place that I know of that does this here in the central Arkansas area is U-Haul. And please feel free in the comments if you know of somewhere else that refills propane containers. I'll go check them out, and maybe we'll do another video on the price comparison on those. So, but what you want to do before you can go exchange, or before you can go get your container refilled at U-Haul, you have to make sure that the container is certified. So we'll go take a look at that here in a second. The basic rules for this are, though, that the metal container, that white container that holds propane, is initially certified for 12 years, and then you can get them recertified for another 5. And they have date codes on the very top of them that you can kind of read and see what you're dealing with there. So let's go take a look at that real quick, and then we'll get into how do we get the propane from the white 20-pound container into the green 1-pound container. Okay, so I have a few propane containers here that I'm going to demonstrate the date coding. So right here, this container was originally manufactured in December of 2004, which means that it expired in 2016, but if you look here, this right here means, I don't know if you can see the 18 there, but there's an 18 and an E, and that means it was recertified in 18. So we are good until 2023, I believe, on this one. Right here, this container that looks like July of 18. That's the manufacture date. So we have, 12 years on this one. We're good to go on that one. Right here, we have another one here that was recertified. Looks like if you see the 18E there. So that one's also good until looks like August of 2023. And then this right here, this one was manufactured in January of 2007. I'm sorry, 2007, which means the 12 years has lapsed, and until it gets recertified, they are not going to want to put propane in that tank. So that might be a candidate for an exchange at the grocery store if that's something that you're wanting to do. Okay, so now that we know which containers we have that the U-Haul is going to be able to actually fill, we can go to U-Haul and get those filled. And maybe this is the appropriate time for a disclaimer. I don't own stock in any of these companies that I'm doing business with on propane, not directly at least, maybe through a mutual fund or something. But and also I'm not a propane expert. Anything that you do with propane is done at your own risk, and you assume that risk. So here's our price per gallon of propane at U-Haul. And so this is going to require us to do a little bit of a conversion here, because we're up until this point we've been talking in pounds. So there's actually 4.2 pounds in a gallon of propane. So if we divide our 2.69 a gallon by 4.2, we get 64 cents a pound, which is pretty great considering that the lowest that we've been able to get so far for the exchange was, let's see here, where was it? $1.07 a pound. So, with that, let's take a look at maybe showing you how to fill some of these smaller green containers up with a larger white container. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is go get you one of these little propane refill adapters. And I think you can get these at Walmart. I actually got mine on eBay, and you could just type in something like propane refill adapter, and you can see here that there's several options. I haven't tried the plastic ones. Mine is just the brass one, so I can't really speak to any of those, but I think they're all pretty similar. So you want to pick one of those up for about $10, and just know that you'll recoup that probably on the first time that you refill propane. Okay, in preparation for this, you want to go ahead and put your propane canisters in the freezer for a few hours. What this is going to do is help with the gas exchange. Generally, gases want to go from an area of more warmth to less, so it's going to cause the warm air that's in the warm propane that's in the white container to go into the green container. And ideally, you'd want to let those propane, the 1 pound canisters, stay in the freezer overnight. So here we are looking at just a kitchen scale, and I'm just going to show you, this is an empty container, and our weight is somewhere around 13 ounces. I feel like that must be that there's just a little bit in there, because I've measured these time and time again, and it's usually closer to 12.95 ounces. So what we want to do is we don't want to fill these any higher than 1 pound, 13 ounces. So that's going to be our goal to shoot for, and I suggest you get you one of these scales, because you don't want to overfill these. That would be bad, because there's safety valves on there that are pressurized, and they're going to release that propane, and they may release it at a place or a time that you don't want them to, creating a dangerous situation. So here we are. We're going to start with our 13 ounces empty container, and we're going to fill it up. Okay, so this nozzle is reverse threaded, so we just want to go ahead and attach it like this and screw it the opposite way, and maybe get your channel locks here. Make sure your gas is off. And just tighten that thing up really nicely. Okay, so we have a cold 1 pound container right out of the freezer that we're going to connect into the 20 pound container. And then we'll turn the gas on. And we'll start a timer for about 3 minutes. And we'll let that go for about 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, in my experience, you can usually get 3 or 4 ounces to go in there. So we're going to have to do this a few times. But if you do it correctly with quite a few propane containers, you can do maybe 8 or 9 of these. Fill them up 1/3, put them back in the freezer for 2 hours, then do this process again. Okay, so 3 minutes have elapsed, and we're going to turn the valve off and remove the propane container, and I'll weigh it and show you how much propane has been exchanged. Okay, so 1 pound 3 ounces almost, so that's about 4 ounces, so that's just about right. In my experience, this takes about 3 different tries at 3 minutes each for the exchange to fully occur. The problem, you can't do 9 minutes at one time because these things they thaw out and they get warm again, and the heat exchange can't take place. So you get your process and you do a few of these at a time, and you can really save some money. And now we'll put this one in the refrigerator and grab another one.